Okay, here's my Damascus knife that I'm doing some engraving initials on. My kit is my cathode and anode. I just have a battery clip which holds onto the knife. I made my own other cathode or anode, depending which direction you're running. Just a stainless steel bolt with shrink wrap over it and shrink wrap over it. That's the end of the bolt I smoothed out. I use these real handy little gun patches. Fold one over, put it over the top. Take a regular old plumbing O-ring, roll it down. Now I got a nice tight cathode anode. I dip it in my solution. Personally, I use a 50% sodium chloride, 50% potassium chloride. So it's KCl, NaCl saturated solution. Damascus etches out faster than D2, which is the main two metals I use. So I kind of use both of them here. Once that's wet, just dab some on the area that you're going to be etching. Get a little bit more liquid going. Then you just hold it over the area. If you listen, you can hear it bubble. You can see it bubbling. What that's doing, it's cooking off the two different metals. This knife's made out of 1095 and 15N20, two different metals. So the galvanic electrolysis substitutes electrons for the electrons that hold those metal particles together when it goes through an electrolyte solution, which touches the knife, so it just lifts the metal particles right off of there. You can see it was white, now it's black. You only have to do a few runs across. All that black is hematite, magnetite, carbon, and everything else, and each time I go through a little patch, I throw them to the side. You can see I got a bunch of them here. Those are all dirty patches which add up as it's cutting down into the metal. So that's a Damascus knife. This particular client wanted his initials on it, so that's what I'm doing. On this other side, you need to tape everything over except for the area you want to actually cover. You actually want to remove metal from. See all that coming off of it? I just use some decals or stencils normally. Tape them on there. Use a X-Acto knife. Cut out the part that I don't want to. Cut out the part that I do want to etch. Leave the other part behind. Can't really see it, so you can see the initials in there. When you do all your etching, remove all the tape and everything afterwards. You only have the initials etched down into the metal. Several other steps. I got my little kit with all my extra patches. Inside here are my two solutions. I keep one bottle saturated solution sodium chloride and one saturated solution potassium chloride. Sometimes I'll use KCl only, sometimes NaCl, but generally you can do a half and half mix, which works really good. D2 metal, my favorite working metal, is really tough. 12% carbon, 12% chromium, 1.5% carbon. It's hard to etch, so if you use a mixed solution, it does a lot faster cutting. Be very careful you don't get it too hot when you're running. Don't let the anode touch the cathode, because I'm using high amperage 12 volt current right now. If you let these touch, there will be sparks. If you accidentally drop your head on anywhere else on the knife, even for a split second, you'll get some hazing or etching on it. So that's the general rundown of how this works, and we'll be keeping up on more of it later.